Good morning, everyone. Ment here, doing a little promo for my May Eldon Shamblin rhythm guitar workshop. I want to take a look at a tune called Take Me Back to Tulsa. Really simple, kind of two-beat polka-ish western swing tune that really alternates between two chords. It's typically played in the key of G, with your 1 chord being your G, your 5 chord being your D. The progression, simplified, goes like this. Just on and on and on the whole entire song. So to apply the Eldon concept to it, we need to move some bass notes around during all of that. So let's start up here in this C position, if you're familiar with your cowboy chords. It's going to be a C position with the G in the root. And we're going to work by going down these bass notes here. Our 1, our major 7, that's our F sharp, our E, that's our 6, and our D, that's our 5. So we might do something like this. Okay? And then we have one more beat to get to the 5. So we've got na 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 na, do 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 do. So you see right there, it landed right on the 5 chord, and how I'm doing that is I'm landing right in the G position of our 5 chord, if that's our big cowboy chord, kind of like your big G up here. So it's G, still on G, G, and right there into the 5. So I'm just going dun, 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 dun. And now I got to take the 5 and walk that down. So a common Eldon Shamblin thing that he would do is take this 5 chord right here, and we're going to play 1, 2, then just move it down 2 frets. This is technically a C chord, but it highlights a lot of the tones that are in D7, so it works just fine, especially as a quick passing chord. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to switch to our C-shaped D7, or you could do this little D7 chord grip right here. So we could go like this, or, and then we got 2 more beats where we want to fit in this C note right here. So the easiest way to do that, if I'm going from this C position, I'm going to switch my hands around and keep that D major triad up in the top, but then put my C in the bass. So it'd be D, C in the bass. So that whole 5 chord thing would be D7, and then we'd be right back into the 1 chord. So to play up for that part, for those joining, it's just the chord changes to Take Me Back to Tulsa. We've got and now I got to finish off with some 1. So what I'm going to do here to keep that bass line, we're going down like do, 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 and I want to finish going. So what I'll do there is just go, that's a G chord with the B in the bass, kind of a Chet Atkinsy grip, but Eldon will use it quite frequently. And then we do the 5. What that is a D7 chord, but with your A in the bass. That's the 5 of D7. And then our G chord right here, a G6 with the E. So we might go D7, and come back to that 5 to get us set back up again. Or what we can do is do a little fill. So we might go and right back into that. So a cool thing to note is when you listen to the recordings where you can hear Eldon really clearly on, a lot of the time he is reusing ideas and kind of has a theme going in the different progressions of the song. So like on this song, he might really alternate between 2 types of like chordal runs or addressing the changes. He's not going to be creating new ideas every time the change is reset and the next verse begins or a solo begins or whatever. He's pulling from the same stuff. So it takes a lot of the pressure off of you as a guitarist to constantly, you know, be creating stuff and be thinking during that song. You can kind of arrange it, which is a really cool way to have something that the rest of the band can latch onto and that listeners can latch onto as well. So if I was playing this, I'm going to do what we just did, but then I'm going to do another time through and just make a few little subtle changes to it, but the outline of it's going to be the same. And that's the idea there. So go 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a change. Here comes another change. So you see there in that second time through, I decided that instead of playing that E minor into the D, I did a diminished into the D. You come join my workshop, I can tell you all about using diminishes here. So I went a diminished into the D, and then I did a little fill, because I had 2 beats to fill, and then I just went that D7 chord, and then this D7 chord here. A little gross, but it sounds pretty cool in passing. And then I went up to my F sharp again, or the D7 chord with F sharp in the bass, and then I resolved right back to G. So full speed, see if I don't butcher this. It might sound something like this. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. And that might be kind of your 2 main templates you work from. And you can kind of just build off of those the rest of the song. And you don't have to constantly be pulling stuff out of your bag of chords and licks and whatnot. One thing to note is, on tunes like this, I'm playing pretty high on the neck so I can work down. On a lot of these kind of 2-beat polka, like line dance tunes, it's a common thing to hear the bass player working down. So it's cool to do that instead of maybe starting from like this G here and going. That's fine too, but to be a little more accurate to the sound of what these tunes traditionally sound like with the guitarist, that's kind of the way to go. So I'll play through it all one more time, and then I'm going to leave you be. And once again, the next Eldon Shamblin workshop class or rhythm workshop I'm offering will be every Saturday in May from 1 to 2, and that's going to be Central Time. It is $150, and it includes over like 35 pages of material, as well as audio examples for all of those things I've tabbed out for you. And then we'll spend we'll spend 1 to 2 an hour dissecting all of that stuff each week. Usually a little over, so we'll get some extra time there. So just message me if you're interested in that, and I'm going to leave you here with some Take Me Back to Tulsa. 1, 2, 1. Thank you. See you later.